300 years ago, one of England's most eminent writers was born in a room above his father's bookshop here, in the heart of Lichfield. He was given the name Samuel. But this silent child was to have a voice that would later bring knowledge to the four corners of the English-speaking world. Books became a refuge for the frustrated Samuel. University should have been the next step for such a talented boy, but university cost money, money which was not to be had. In 1737, whether out of reckless desperation or wild optimism, Sam decided to go to London with his former pupil Garrick. He struggled to find work, writing whatever would earn him a crust.
Sir, if you wish to have a just notion of the magnitude of this city, you must not be satisfied with seeing its great streets and squares, but must survey the innumerable little lanes and courts. It is not in the showy evolutions of buildings, but in the multiplicity of human habitations which are crowded together that the wonderful immensity of London consists.
In 1746 came the Great Commission that changed Sam's life forever. Sam was contracted to produce a dictionary of the English language.
Boat. A vessel to pass the water in.
Sojourn.
It is usually distinguished from other vessels.
Blossom. The flower that grows on any plant previous to the seed or fruit.
Conjubal. To concert.
Electricity.
To settle.
A property of some bodies,
A low
whereby,
word.
when rubbed so as to grow warm, they draw little...
In the end, Johnson laboured over the dictionary for 9 years, an incredible achievement, which according to Bates was one of the greatest single achievements of scholarship, and probably the greatest ever performed by one individual.
Melancholy. Diseased with melancholy, fanciful, habitually dejected.
When I rise, my breakfast is solitary. The black dog waits to share it. From breakfast to dinner he continues barking. Night comes at last, and some hours of restlessness and confusion bring me again to a day of solitude. What shall exclude the black dog from a habitation like this?
"1783 was the year when blows came thick and fast. In June he suffered a stroke that for a month impaired his speech. In August, Anna Williams died. She had lived with him for many years, providing tea and solace at all hours. His asthma worsened. Gout stopped him from walking. His legs began to swell. And despite the support of Frank Barber, who soothed his sores and supported him on his deathbed, Samuel knew that the world was coming to an end.
The end of the last meeting of James Boswell and Samuel Johnson after a convivial night at Sir Joshua Reynolds. I accompanied him in Sir Joshua Reynolds' coach to the entry of Bolt Court. He asked me whether I would not go with him to his house. I declined it from an apprehension that my spirits would sink. We bade adieu to each other affectionately in the carriage. When he had got down upon the foot pavement, he called out, "Fare you well," and without looking back, sprang away with a kind of pathetic briskness, if I may use that expression, which seemed to indicate a struggle to conceal uneasiness and impress me with the foreboding of our long, long separation.
He died surrounded by his friends on December the 13th, 1784.
Iam moriturus,
Were his final words in the Latin he loved.
I who am dying.
Sam survived in living memory here in Lichfield for perhaps 50 years. Then the statue of him was erected to preserve his memory for the future. His great book remained a bastion of the English language until the publication of the Oxford English Dictionary. He is the most quoted man in the world after his beloved Shakespeare. As a human being, Sam survived in the face of adversity, unbound and uncompromising. He is an inspiration to all who struggle against depression and disease.